Okay. The last one we're going to hit. This is about what the Bible says about us, how we're supposed to, as Christians, live our lives, pastors. It is 1 Thessalonians 4, chapter 4, verses 11 and 12. I'm going to go ahead and read that. Make it your goal to live a quiet life, minding your own business and working with your hands just as we have instructed you before. Then people who are not Christians will respect the way you live, and you will not need to depend on others. Think about it. If churches in general quit trying to be so showy, so we got to draw people into the church. We got to draw people into the church. Pastors who, talk about tithing 10%, but then they turn around and take that 10% that's tithe, they're 10%, but they're driving a BMW, yet they're criticizing people that are homeless. Get so set in your ways that you're basically afraid of anything new. How does that glorify God? This week I want people to look at the church you're going to. Look at the church you guys are going to. You both have said it. You said you've been called in front of the elders for some stupid crap. Anybody that is watching this, and anybody sitting here, if you can find some of those verses that we talked about, any of those things, self-ambition, envy, I'm sure there's probably more in each church that you would find. Granted, there's no perfect church, but everybody has their niche in the wheel, their little spoke in the tire. And if the current church you're at doesn't allow you to be a spoke in the tire, find one that does. Because there's no reason, short of committing a violation of the 10 Commandments, that there should be any discord in a church. Because all that is that's the devil using whatever way he can to get a hold of people and attack them. For any pastors that are watching this, I'm sorry. I tried to look up anything positive about a church that's divided. I looked it up in the New Living Translation. I looked it up in a King James Version. I looked up pretty much everything I could think of. And it doesn't say anything that anything positive will come out of any church that's divided. Any parting comments from anybody?
Well, and when stuff like that happens, it hurts, especially when you're on the receiving end of it. And all those things that did happen to us hurt a lot. I still love those people, and I still try to keep a positive attitude about them. But it's hard. I can't be close to them anymore, and that's not the way it should be. It should be just because somebody does something different doesn't make them wrong. Just because they think differently doesn't mean their thought process is wrong. They just are different. And you have already shown tonight, we're not there to be teaching baptism. You got to be baptized, got to be baptized, got to be baptized. It's teaching about Christ's love. I've been through a lot of different churches with a lot of different ideas, but the same basic concept is teaching Christ's love. And in teaching it, you have to practice it. You have to show it. It's not always shown to me.
Isn't there one word you're missing there when it comes right down to it?
So,
teaching unconditional love.
Unconditional love, yes.
Too many days nowadays. Christians in general, they forget that Christ gave their life on the cross to be forgiven, so the Christian could be forgiven. And that was the ultimate show of unconditional love. That was God basically going, you know what? I know what you're going to do before you even do it. But you know what? I forgive you anyway. And in a roundabout way, this all comes back to comfort zones. Don't it, Dad? Too many times nowadays, churches come across as comfortable. And when you become comfortable in a church, how are you challenging your faith?